Here's a question of the day for you. Will President Trump make it to the inauguration alive? Yeah, that's a tough question that would normally be taken down on every other platform, so I'm posting it here. First of all, I did not vote for either President-elect Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, so I do not have a dog in this fight, but I do have a grand concern for the incoming president's safety. Here's why. If a deep state were to exist, and this is for entertainment purposes only, because we know deep state doesn't really exist, here's how you'd set it up. First of all, if you wanted to have control over a country or multiple countries outside of government, you'd have the government, right, over here, and you'd have its officers, including for the President of the United States, POTUS, and then you got all these agencies, right, that are important and that actually get things done. Because the president himself can't do anything, he can just issue executive orders and get Congress to start passing bills, etc., that can make agencies do things, and then he can appoint the directors, etc. But within those agencies is where the work is done and where the agency is actually driven and what direction they actually go to, what policies they put in place. So if you're deep state, you would want to set it up to where you get key personnel inside every agency that can enable what you want to have happen, regardless of what's going on. And they all have each other's cell phone numbers and know each other's existence and work with each other and get information from each other, etc. And you control this level. It's officially under the President of the United States or a president or a prime minister of a country that you put key roles in place that you can control with a phone call. You get them messages of what you need them to do, and they do it because you're paying them on the side beyond their regular government salary. So once you have that in place, it doesn't matter who this person is, right? Except if that person wants to take charge of the government and get rid of the deep state actors inside its organizations, such as when Kennedy did that. He wanted to be an anti-war president. He didn't want to go to war, had that whole Bay of Pigs thing. Then he started to talk about removing the control of the military-industrial complex and sharing the secrets of the alien stuff with Russia. And that was one bridge too far. And at that point, the people within government put together the plan to remove Kennedy from office. And they did so, right? And if you need any question about that in the paper trail, I almost glossed over Oliver Stone's JFK Revisited because I thought, oh, it's just an anniversary and they're going over the old information and the old evidence. No. Go back and find and search for JFK Revisited because it's a brand new movie. They should have named it something like JFK Part 2 or something. They should have named it something different rather than Revisited because Revisited suggests, hey, we're going to look over the old evidence. And that new documentary was full of brand new evidence that proved that Oswald was a CIA operative and on the payroll and likely a patsy and didn't even fire a shot. So it paints the entire picture, all the evidence around Oswald, all the evidence around those days' activities and who is there, who is not there, how deep this rabbit hole goes, was represented inside Oliver Stone's second documentary on JFK. Go watch it. It absolutely lays the argument bare that the Kennedy assassination was an inside job, that Oswald likely didn't fire a shot, and that it was planned in a deep state formation, very similar to what we designed here. Oops, battery's going dead. Now let's bring in the discussion of President Trump. President Trump is definitely against the deep state operatives because the deep state operatives are the ones who have been trying to stand in the way of his getting elected, etc. They're the folks who've been trying to do all sorts of weird things with government, regardless of who's in charge of government. They're the people who are having meetings about President Trump taking over and his appointees taking over the various agencies and departments and how they're going to resist him. That's been reported in the news. And he's attacking not just some intelligence folks with some secrets that they don't want outed, including the JFK assassination papers, because they don't want to be in the hot spot regarding, hey, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And why did the system fail en masse? And how do we need to revamp the system? They don't want any of those questions asked. And he's not just attacking the intelligence agencies and the intelligence emplacements. He is also attacking Big Pharma by putting RFK into governance over the health and the FDA and CDC and the welfare of the United States citizenry regarding their health, and the limitation of Big Pharma's ability to get profits off of untested vaccines and things like that. So you've got him attacking the intelligence community, you've got him attacking Big Pharma, you've got him attacking the military-industrial complex because he's an anti-war president and he doesn't want to fire missiles, which digs into the profits of the military-industrial complex quite heavily. So he's making a ton of enemies before he's even taken office day one. So what is the single point of failure in this plan of getting in there, rooting out all of these deep state operatives to take them out of the agencies so that the agencies can be revamped and relaunched in their missions or eliminated altogether if they're unnecessary, which is Ramaswamy's and Elon Musk's charter to remove the waste in government, or at least some of it. And so what's the single point of failure? Well, the single point of failure is Donald Trump. If you remove him from office, the 25th Amendment, which seems unlikely because he's going to surround himself with loyalists, or some other way to remove him from office, then all of a sudden all of his appointees are in question. And all of the process of removing the deep state is now in risk. Because at the point that you're taking someone out of office and putting a vice president in, well, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so if you're bringing in a vice president who's just seen a president removed from office for resisting the potential entrenched above governance, that person's going to be less likely to keep that same staff on. So the Elon Musks and the Vivek Ramaswamys and the Tulsi Gabbards all go away. And the AG appointee of Matt Gaetz goes away. There is no revamp of the FBI at that point. There is no revamp of the intelligence community at that point. There is no revamp of the pharmaceutical engine at this point. There is no revamp of the military-industrial complex getting their huge contracts for defense in perpetuity. All of that stops with the removal of one man from office. And he's not just attacking one agency. He's attacking the whole animal that helps control not just the United States government, but is into a, theoretically, for entertainment purposes only, a group of folks who do the same thing with all the other countries as well, rule from above. And so at the point that you take the one guy out, then you've got control back of the whole thing and your entire existence is no longer at risk. We know for 100% certainty that deep state exists because we have the evidence that a president can ask for all the secrets of alien stuff and that president is denied the access to that information. So there's somebody above the president who has more authority to be able to say, well, this president either gets this information or doesn't get this information based on my whim today. So that person is more important and more powerful than the president of the United States on that one issue. And of course, there are a number of issues that the president is simply not the top dog in control of the information or the policies or the way things are done in government. And I think Kennedy wanted to change that. Certainly, that's publicly documented. And I think Trump wants to do that same thing. So I have a large concern over him even being able to get a shot to clean up the government a little bit and to clean out the inefficiencies a little bit and to get the bad actors who would not follow directives of the top office in the land. I have a real concern. What do you guys think? Give me your thoughts. Comment below. I'd love to hear you.